Welcome back to another episode of Making Money with Woodworking and Smalls That Sell, a series that covers low-cost, high-profit items that are hot and trending in the big box stores so that you can put your creative twist to it to make your own low-cost, high-profit items that sell. Well, I have several items to break down, so let's go ahead and jump into it. Okay, so I'm about to tell you something that I honestly thought that I would never say. The 80s are back. Okay, so I'm not super pumped about that. I grew up in the 80s and honestly wasn't a big fan of the style then. But if you've been following trending items here lately, you're probably going to notice some things that show up in old pictures. So for the time being, I guess that I can get on board with this, just as long as I don't start seeing those super uncomfortable wooden armed wagon wheel type of couches. You know, the ones that only came in that super horrible color of brown? Yeah, I think we all had them. And since we have taken a little trip down memory lane, let's go ahead and get into this first one. And that's a $225 recipe box that is 100% straight out of the 80s. So recently I asked the Facebook community to give me some ideas on things that they'd like to see me cover. And this recipe box came in from Bobby Ingram. So I'm going to be honest, Bob, whenever I first saw this, I'm like, oh man, those recipe boxes. I remember seeing those things everywhere. After doing a bit of research and seeing just how expensive these things were, Bob, I think that you are on to something here. So again, they're wanting $225 for this solid oak recipe box. So again, the big part of the nostalgia for this is making it out of oak. It's just almost everything that I see from that era, that's what they used. Personally, if I were going to make some of these, I'd probably change it up a bit, still use this overall look, just with a different type of wood. That way that you're still hitting the nostalgia part of it, but also making some much needed changes. Now think about how this would look if it was made out of some nice cherry or walnut. Ooh, walnut. Now that would be awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and break this down and I'll show you exactly how easy that these things are to build. So the overall dimensions of these boxes are 6 inches by 8 inches. Now that's mainly just going to be the bottom. Everything else is kind of inset in a bit. So we'll start with that 6 by 8 bottom. And then for our two sideboards, they'll be 5.5 by 5.5 with a 45-degree angle added to the front. Okay, so I took a piece of scrap wood, cut it to 5.5 by 5.5, just to kind of show you how this angle's laid out. I measured over 2.5 inches and started my angle from that point. Then I put a 45-degree angle on the front of the board, leaving me with 2.5 inches on the front edge. So you'll need 2 of these sideboards. Okay, so now for the front of this box. It sits on top of our bottom board and is sandwiched in between our two sides. So for the front of this, it needs to be 6.5 inches long by 2.5 inches high, which is the same as the front of our sideboards. Then let's go ahead and cut the back of this box and we're ready to put that together. So the back is sandwiched in between our two sides just like the front board. So that needs to be 6.5 inches long by 5.5 inches tall. So now that we have all of the main base parts cut, let's go ahead and put that together using wood glue and brad nails. That's all that you'll have to do is to sandwich in your front board and your back board in between your two sides, and then install the brad nails from the outside. Then you'll just flip that over and add your 6 by 8 bottom board and attach it using brad nails from the bottom. Now that we have the base assembled, let's go ahead and add our stationary top board. And that's going to be the one that runs across the back. Now if you notice on this, both our top board and our hinged lid meet at an angle right in the very corner. Okay, so let's look at that. The lid itself is going to be at a 45-degree angle because it sits against the 45-degree angle that we put on our sides. But, so if our top board just had a square end on it and you wanted this to butt up against it, you could put a 45-degree angle on one board. But since we're adding this angle to 2 boards, we'll divide that in half. So 22.5 degrees. This is actually a very common angle used on the miter saw. And you'll probably notice that most miter plates actually have a little notch for 22.5 degrees. So for the top board, it needs to be 2.5 inches wide with a 22.5 degree angle ripped down one edge. And it needs to be 8 inches long. So now with that cut, we'll go ahead and attach that to our box. Now for the lid. So we know what angle that it needs to be. One edge needs to be ripped at 22.5 degrees. Now how about our length? Figure this out. I'm simply going to lay my tape measure against my angle and then see where it comes out at the 6-inch mark. So in this case, it's going to be right at 5 inches. So our lid will need to be 5 inches by 8 inches. And honestly, that's all the major parts that's needed for this. Now yeah, they've added a little piece of scrap to the front that looks to be maybe 6 inches long by 1/4 inch thick by maybe 1/2 inch wide. And that's just to hold your recipe card that you're using at the time. And then as far as the hinges go, the ones that they're using on this are absolutely straight out of the 80s. I remember when almost every set of kitchen cabinets had these exact style of hinges. They didn't worry about trying to conceal these hinges like we do now. They wanted these things right out in the open. So yeah, you can still pick up these hinges and I'm sure that they are dirt cheap. But if I were doing this a little more modern, I think I would tone these down just a bit. Regardless of how you decide to build these things, they are what's hot right now, and I don't see a whole lot of people making these. So that means that as simple as these things are make, you should definitely add these to your build list. Thank you again, Bob, for sending in this awesome idea. And this next one is another submission from one of your fellow makers. Check these out. Angela Kincaid shared this build that she says is always a huge seller for her. They are super simple, market tested, and can literally be built out of scrap wood. So to build these, it looks like that Angela used either 3.5 or 4-inch material. We'll just say 4 inches to keep it nice and even. So for the top of this, it's 4 inches wide by maybe 5 inches long. That's all that she's done, is used a hole saw to cut the diameter of a pint-sized mason jar. So if you're going to make something like this, just make sure to have an actual mason jar out so that you can see the exact size hole that you need for your jar, because if you make it too big, then the metal ring that you add to the top won't sit on top of your wood. So just keep an eye on that. Now for the sides and bottom, she just used butt joints and connected the two 4x4 sides to a 4 3/4 inch bottom. And that's it. So these things are super easy to make. The mason jars, keep an eye on those at yard and estate sales, because you can pick those things up for next to nothing and you can use them for a ton of different things. So if I had to personally change something up about this, and Angela did a great job, I would look at making some of these with mitered corners. I personally just think that a mitered corner adds a ton of character, and they kind of set projects apart from what looks like a super easy build to maybe a more complex build when honestly you're just changing the angle of the saw. And then from there are a ton of different things that you can do to add just a bit more character. So let's say that you've mitered your corners. What about a splined look? So all you would have to do is to make a jig that would run across your table saw that would cut little notches across your 45. Once you have those put in, depending on the thickness of your saw blade, you take, let's say, 3/16 of an inch walnut strips and put down in each one of those splines. If your splines are a contrasting color, it's going to make these things pop. But again, there's a ton of different things that you can do with something like this. So thanks again, Angela, for sharing this build. Okay, so for this next one, this store has taken something that has always been popular and super hot and added a couple of shelves to it to create a totally different product. And that's these $100 shelf ladders. So you've heard me talk about ladders several times and how popular that they are. We actually did a video here on the channel a few weeks back where I taught you how to build several different styles of these ladders. And everyone loves to decorate with ladders because there's a ton of different things that you can do with them. You can use them to display quilts, hang towels on in a bathroom, or even to decorate with outside. But there's always been one problem with decorating with these ladders. It's that you're kind of limited to what you can display on these things because you only have the rungs to hang things on. Well, this style of ladder actually takes that into consideration and solves that problem by adding a couple of shelves to the bottom. Okay, so these things would be super easy to make. If you watch the ladder video, you'll understand just how easy that it is to make a standard ladder. Now to add in these boxes, that's not going to change things much. So each one of these units are around 6 foot tall, 18 inches wide, and the boxes at the bottom are different sizes that kind of account for the angle of this ladder. So the bottom box looks like that it's about 10 inches deep, so 18 inches wide, 10 inches deep, and the top box is about 8 inches deep, 18 inches wide. And then to make sure that people can still hang things on these, using what looks to be about 3/4 inch dowel rod. Okay, so what exactly are you going to need to build this? So the boxes themselves, you can use just about anything. We have covered several different styles of these boxes. Honestly, if it were me and I was going for a rustic look, I would just use some fence picket material to put this thing together. Now, I'm not going to explain every step on building these little boxes because I've already done that in other videos, and these things are pretty self-explanatory. But the main thing to know about these is that they're 18 inches wide, one's 10 inch deep, and one is 8 inch deep. Once you have those two things made, the rest of this is going to fly together. The legs themselves look to be about 3/4 of an inch thick, 2.5 inches wide, and 6 foot long. But the first things that you're going to attach to these legs will be these dowels. It's because they're actually inset into the material a bit. So for me, I would measure down the tops of these legs to maybe about 10 inches down for my first dowel, and then drop that down about a foot below that for my second one. At each one of these places on both sides of the legs, you need to counterbore a 3/4 of an inch hole on each one of the legs. That's going to be for the dowel rod to slide into. Now, each one of these counterbores only need to be about 1/2 of an inch deep. That's plenty enough to lock in each side. So if you have 1/2 of an inch counterbore on each side, we want 18 inch spacing in between. That means that your two dowel rods need to be 19 inches long. So you'll put a little wood glue into your counterbores and then slide that together, locking in your dowels. Then you'll put a screw on the outside of each one. Now that the legs and the dowels are locked together, you can add in your boxes. So know that these boxes are connected so that they're level whenever the ladder's leaning against the wall. So in order to get that, you just need to add an angle to each one of your feet. So if you want that look with your feet setting level on the ground, before you put all this together, you'll just add the angle that you want this to sit at onto the bottom of each one of your legs. Now I put a 15-degree angle on this one, just to kind of show you what I'm talking about. So once you have the feet of these legs cut at the angle that you would like, now you would just attach each one of these boxes at the height that you would like, and you're done. So again, they're wanting $100 a piece for these things, and honestly, that's not a bad price for an item like this. So keep that in mind, and the fact that you can build this with just a couple of fence pickets, those two things come together to make a product that will make you a lot of money. So are you getting better at breaking down items in your head? It's just like anything else. It's something that takes a bit of practice. So I have some homework for you. I want you to pick something out to break apart and build. Now, if you run into some issues doing this, ask for some help. That is the awesome thing about the maker community, is that for the most part, everyone is friendly and ready to help people out. So get into your I can build that mentality. Get up, get out, and get your build on. Till next time, we'll see you. Imagine taking a pile of wood and turning it into something amazing. Now, imagine doing that without years of frustration. You do not need a fancy workshop, expensive tools, or years of experience. With Woodworking Kickstart, you'll build confidence and real skills in no time. So you can spend years making mistakes and learning the hard way like I did, or you can start building with confidence today. So join me in Woodworking Kickstart and let's get your journey started.